All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're breaking down some material with a powerful, almost radical idea at its core, that respect isn't something you're given. It's not something you ask for. It's something you conquer.
And this quote right here, it's the whole game. This is the central philosophy. The idea is, before you can even think about commanding respect from the outside world, you first have to win the war that's raging inside your own head. Everything, and I mean everything, flows from this one concept.
I mean, think about it. You've seen this person, right? They walk into a room and you can literally feel the air change. They haven't said a word, but everyone knows they're in charge. How do they do that?
Well, here's the thing. According to this doctrine, it's not some kind of magic. It's not a personality trait you're just born with. No, it's a code, a system with principles and tactics that can be learned. And that's exactly what we're going to unpack.
Okay, first up, Section 1, the Conquest for Respect. This is all about reframing the mission. The source material just completely flips the script on what respect even is. We're moving it from a passive hope to a very active conquest.
Just look at the wording here. It's powerful. This has nothing to do with being nice or liked. It's all about self-sovereignty. What does that mean? It means you are the undisputed ruler of your own internal kingdom, your thoughts, your feelings, your actions. The source is arguing that once you hit that level of self-mastery, respect from others isn't something you have to chase anymore. It just happens. It's a byproduct.
And that leads us perfectly into Section 2, Forge Your Inner Fortress. This is ground zero. This is the first battlefield. Before you project anything outward, you have to build an unshakable fortress inside your own mind.
This isn't a suggestion, it's a command. The doctrine is really clear on this. There is absolutely no middle ground. You either seize control of your inner world, or the world outside, your job, your environment, the people around you will control you. It's a zero-sum game.
So how do you do it? Well, the source calls this first step self-talk warfare. And I mean that literally. It frames your internal monologue, those little thoughts running through your head all day, as a literal war zone. Every single thought is either a soldier fighting for your authority or a traitor working to sabotage it from the inside.
So here's the mission. You have to actively reprogram your own brain. The source calls it neuro-rewiring. This means catching those weak, passive thoughts like, man, I hope this works out, and consciously, deliberately replacing them with an active command like, I decree this will work.
Let's look at another one. This is a great example from the source. Instead of thinking, I'm trying my best, which kind of leaves room for failure, the command is, I execute with precision. You feel the difference? This isn't just positive thinking. The argument is that you're literally programming your nervous system for victory.
To make this real, let's look at a case study from the source. So there's this guy, Aaron. His internal script, his core belief was, I'm not a leader. And that belief was creating his reality. He'd mumble, he'd avoid eye contact, and guess what? His crew pretty much ignored him.
Now check this out. Aaron didn't go to some fancy leadership seminar. He didn't get a new job. He changed one sentence, just one, inside his own head. He started this disciplined daily practice of replacing that old weak thought with one powerful command.
And the change? It was insane. It was fast, and it was dramatic. By winning that internal war, his entire external presence transformed. He stood taller. He spoke with clarity. His authority just materialized. His crew wasn't following a new person. They were responding to the new, powerful signal he was now broadcasting.
Okay, so you've secured the inner fortress. Now what? How do you project that power outward? Well, that brings us to Section 3, Projecting Undeniable Authority. Time to talk tactics.
This is key. The doctrine is absolutely adamant about this. Your body language is your first strike. Before you even open your mouth, your posture, your presence, it's all sending a signal. And that signal tells everyone in the room whether you're a leader or a follower.
And they give us a really simple, powerful tool for this. It's called the 3-second entry. When you walk into a room, you don't just scurry to your seat. You pause, right at the threshold. You stand tall, you survey the room, you make a little eye contact. It's a tiny move, but it claims the space and silently announces your presence.
All right, so after body language, what's next? Your voice. That's your next weapon. But the source argues that most of us completely sabotage ourselves here. We talk too fast, too much, and in too high a pitch.
The source has a name for this, the gravitas effect. And it's pretty straightforward. Authority is conveyed by speaking lower and slower.
When you rush your words, when your pitch is high, you're signaling panic. But when you speak deliberately, when you use pauses, those pauses aren't awkward. They're a tool of power. You're forcing everyone else to wait for your words.
But let's pause for a second. What if you're doing all this stuff? You've got the posture down, you're talking slow, but inside, your brain is just screaming, I'm a fraud, they're gonna find me out. People can feel that disconnect, right? And that brings us to the final and most important piece of the puzzle.
This is where it all has to come together. Section 4, fusing inner and outer power. This is all about what the source calls the alignment law. See, real lasting authority isn't about just doing the inner work or just faking the outer tactics. It's about fusing them together into one seamless whole. The alignment law is basically the law of gravity for respect. It is non-negotiable. Your inner conviction in your own authority has to perfectly match your outer actions. When those two things are in harmony, your presence becomes undeniable. You just are.
Because if you're out of sync even a little bit, you walk right into what's called the dissonance trap. Think about it. People have this crazy good radar for inauthenticity. If your confident body language is just a thin mask hiding a core of fear, people will sense it. They might not know what's wrong, but they'll feel it. And any respect you thought you had just vanishes.
And that's really the big takeaway here. This whole thing, it's not a magic trick you learn once and you're done. It's not a course you can pass. Commanding respect is a discipline. It's a daily practice of checking in on that inner fortress, calibrating your outer tactics, and making damn sure they are always in alignment.
So we end right back where the source began, with a challenge. The doctrine is basically saying the world doesn't owe you a thing. It doesn't owe you its respect. So the only real question left is, are you going to take it?